Welcome back to First Take. Some breaking news from ESPN's Shams Charania. The NBA's attempts to clamp down on tanking has reached a new level. The league presented 3 anti-tanking proposals this week, with each being radically different from one another in one crucial way. So each of these 3 proposals will bring more teams into the NBA draft lottery, including playoff-bound teams. A formal vote is expected to come in May. So there's a lot to each of these proposals. We don't have time to go through all of the nitty-gritty, so I encourage you, go read the story over at ESPN.com for more context. But Stephen A., these proposals seemed designed to incentivize winning and discourage tanking, which we know the NBA is pushing right now. What do you think's going to be the outcome?
Well, listen, I think that some modifications have taken place. Remember, this is their 6th bite at the apple. They've tried this 5 times. 5 different times they've tried to make changes to incentivize teams to avoid trying to tank. And this has been dating back to the 90s. And here we are in the year 2026, and it's still an issue. So it speaks to a problem that simply won't go away, and we understand that. There's a 3rd proposal. There were 3 different proposals, and the 3rd proposal involved a 5x5 methods. 5x5 method, according to Shams Charania. And it says the same 18 teams from the first proposal. You got, teams that made the play-ins plus the teams that missed the play-in and playoffs all together. And of that group, the bottom 10 that missed the play-in plus the 8 teams that make it would be entered into a lottery. Teams with the 5 worst records would then all have the same odds, with them descending from there. I kind of like that one a little bit more than the others, but I also think that it really, really comes down to this when all is said and done. Nothing matters if you have an owner that doesn't prioritize winning. And here's what I mean by that. It's one thing when you know you stink. And if you stink, but it positions you to get a high draft pick and you could get a marquee player, a la San Antonio with Tim Duncan, what Boston tried to do at one point, along with other teams, the David Robinsons of the world, et cetera, et cetera. This has happened before. It's one thing when that's the reason that you're trying to do it for that 1 year. Here's what I'm saying, Courtney. There are owners in the league that don't care whether they win a championship or not. They want to be good enough to compete, but in the same breath, don't prioritize winning a championship. As long as we're relevant, okay, and we're highly competitive, I'm good. So if you are an organization, I'm certainly not accusing the Clippers of this, not with Steve Ballmer, but I'm using an organization as an example because of all the years that Donald Sterling was there when he was a cheap miser and what have you, before rules implemented that mandated you got to spend at least 85% up to, the salary cap and stuff like that. I'm looking at certain situations and I'm saying it's one thing for an owner to chase a championship. It's another thing for an owner to do everything he can to avoid going all out, doing just enough to remain competitive, but in the same breath not going all out because they're prioritizing keeping the money in their pocket and making sure that they're churning, they're making money every single year as opposed to losing some money. Joe Lacob is not that dude. Joe Lacob has lost. He will unapologetically tell you the money that he has spent and he has put out just to compete for championships and how committed that he spent years being to that cause. And you have a lot of owners that don't think like that. They just want to be competitive, in the mix, making money. And if they don't win, it doesn't matter to them. You can't do anything with those owners when it comes to tanking. You just can't, because they don't care. They just don't want to lose money. That's their thing. There's nothing you could do with an owner that has that mentality.
We have breaking news directly into our newsroom, and I can't tell you how important and interesting this is. I'm going to try and explain it to you best I can. Shams just posted a story on ESPN.com about the NBA's attempts to clamp down on tanking and the new level they've gone to. So the league has presented 3 anti-tanking proposals to the Board of Governors this week. Each one of them is radically different from each other. It would take me a very long time to explain them to you, but there's one crucial similarity amongst them. Each of the 3 proposals would bring more teams into the draft lottery, including playoff teams. A formal vote is expected in May. As I mentioned, there's a ton in this. So what I urge you to do if you are interested is to go to ESPN.com and read the story there. Details on all 3 of the proposals. One way or another, Adam Silver and company are going after tanking, and I, for one, salute them for doing it. Okay, back to business then. We got Joe here.
Good job
We
there,
got
Green.
Seth Greenberg there, and we've got the trivia question from Hembo. Duke tonight will play in the Sweet 16.
Joey, you're going to give me some help here? Come on,
In the Sweet
you're a
16.
brilliant guy. You have a Penn State degree.
Let me
It's
read the
14.
questions for
All right.
crying out loud.
Take it easy, Greenberg.
Seth, tonight, Duke will play its 31st Sweet 16 game. That will tie someone for the most going back to 1975. Now, Seth, 8.7 seconds remaining, the latest game-winning field goal in Purdue tournament history. They're now advanced to take on Arizona in the Elite Eight. We showed you earlier the highlights. Arizona just flat out thumped Arkansas last night. Coach Seth Greenberg is back with us again. Seth, what was your biggest takeaway from Purdue's thrilling win last night?
The three seniors are absolutely so impressive. Those three guys and the success they've had, the tradition of Purdue basketball. But when you look at Trey Kaufman-Renn, he gets the tip in. Fletcher Loyer shoots 50% from the three-point line over the course of the tournament. You're talking about those guys have combined for 47 points a game. Efficiency, Braden Smith making plays, getting to the rim. But those three guys, they have set the standard for this Purdue team, and the young guys are following them. But the collective responsibility of those three guys and watching them celebrate, it's kind of pretty cool to watch.
It's because of that group, primarily, that when this season began, a lot of people had Purdue right at the top, like one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the country. And then the regular season had its ups and downs. But now here they are with a shot at Arizona to try and get to the Final Four. Can you give Purdue fans hope that they can find a way to do it?
Absolutely. They've played, Purdue has 38 games this season, and last night was their worst three-point shooting effort of all 38 games, 4 of 20. It's the fewest makes, and it's the worst percentage. If you can do that and still hang damn near 80 points against a good Texas team while winning, you have a shot against Arizona.
Okay, so we'll see if they can do it. The Big Ten, by the way, has a shot to get all 4 spots in the Final Four. I'll just keep saying it because I'm a proud Big Ten alum. Purdue is still alive, and so is Illinois. Illinois and Houston last night. Joe told us yesterday, watch for the upset, and the Illini were paying attention. Houston down 2 in the second half. I want you to watch Chris Sinak. 2 hands on the poster jam. But then Illinois would go on a run, and they would never look back. This is David Mirkovich with a lay-in, and Illinois goes up by 7. And then the very next possession, it's Jake Davis. Look at the nice little shiftiness there. He knocks down a 3. That's a 10-0 run. 12 minutes to go. Illinois up 15. It's Ben Humrickhouse knocking down a 3. Illinois a 17-0 run. And they never look back. They go on to win it by 10 to the dismay of Kelvin Sampson and Jim Nance and Fred Couples and everybody else who went to Houston. It's Illinois that advances. They will take on Iowa in an all-Big Ten matchup in the Elite Eight. Coach, what is the number one takeaway from Illinois' upset of the Cougars last night?
They've improved defensively in the tournament, only giving up 60 points a game. People who shoot only 27 for the 3, and they've got a guy down the stretch they can play through and Keaton Wagler. Wagler's been absolutely terrific. We talk about all these great freshmen. He's as good as any of these great freshmen. 6'7", can knock down shots, can put the ball on the floor, has got a runner. I compare him a little bit to a young Steph Curry. Unlimited logo-type range. Guy has a middle game, has a runner, defends, competes, playmates. He is special, but they've really improved on the defensive end. They score it so easily. This is an elite offensive team, and now they have a defense to complement it.
Illinois, Iowa, talk to me.
I see it as a low-scoring game. You got 2 teams that play very good defense. You've got an Iowa team that just shot over 50% from the field. I think that's going to limit them a little bit here. Illinois very dependent on the three-point shot. Number 10 in the country in three-point attempts per game, and they've been hot in the tournament, 40%. If that drops off, I think the scoring drops off. I think this is a low-scoring game.
Iowa, sometimes you don't find the year finds you. They knock off Florida in that crazy finish. They win the game with Nebraska having not enough people on the floor. Maybe sometimes it's just your time. We'll see if that's the way that it goes. All right, we'll preview tonight's